Miojo is my name. Thank you for joining me. And, yesterday was quite a day of events, albeit a majorly sad one in Ocean State, where political, parties and their supporters had a go at themselves, because of the situation that was thrown up by the judgment of the appeal court in Akure last Monday, February 10, in which has been opened up to interpretation. What is the issue? Many prayers, in that appeal made by the APC, but then the fulcrum of it is the restatement or the prayer for the court to reinstate the sacked local government chairman. And that his words has been, interpreted in so many ways. The APC has said that, with the judgment of that court, that means they are back. The local government chairman at that time, the sacked ones are back. And the PDP is saying there is nothing categorical that I restated you, and if so, there is a way to go about it. But then the APC and their supporters in the state said they are taking over the local government secretariat councils, yesterday. And they did in some of those places in which they were met with steep opposition, and sadly, and very regrettably, it ended up having 6 persons killed on both sides of the divide. The PDP are claiming 5 of their persons were killed. The APC are saying 1 or 2 of their persons were killed as well. And they said it's not just about what happened at the local councils, is about the fact that some hoodlums, went to the abode of some party loyalists of their own and attacked them, some on their farm and all of this. But then you understand, when such a situation arises, it will be allegations and counter-allegations, and these are some of the issues we are following at this time. But I must say, it's quite regrettable that this has happened. But very importantly, some will say, the Nigerian police, where were they when this happened? They released a statement last evening, and many persons have been saying, you are very inefficient on this matter. The Inspector General of Police, the police force, in a statement sent by the force PRO, Lumiwade Japi, said everybody involved in that act will be fished out. The perpetrators will not go unpunished. But Nigerians will say, where were you when all these things were happening? That there were signs that things would degenerate. You are albeit silent on the matter. As a force, the state government, through the state governor, gave a press conference that this is what we are hearing, this is what's going to happen. The APC gave their own part of the situation. What they were going to do, the PDP, some of their loyalists said, okay, don't try it. If you try it, whatever comes for you, you should be it. So many persons, you don't even have to be an intelligent officer or somebody of the intelligence community or a part of the security apparatus to know that something terrible might happen. And albeit you, Nigerian police, were albeit quiet, nothing categorical was said on the matter until 6 people died yesterday. And in the evening, you released a statement and now said perpetrators will be brought to book. How about the prevention of such a thing? And the police later went, in the course of the program, I got to look at it, in that press briefing, that they have mobilized men even from other formations outside the state to join the ones that are in Osun State. One will say, where were these, people? And even when the police didn't cause all of this, one cannot shield them off what has happened because they have the opportunity. They had almost everybody knew something was going to go wrong yesterday. And the Nigerian police folded their hands. They went wrong. And now they are saying the perpetrators will break the book. How about the 6 lives that have been lost? Possibly that could have been prevented if actually they really showed up, and it may give rise to what some persons are saying in some quarters to say, maybe, just maybe, something untoward happened and the police were compromised. Because the state governor said it, although those were his words, but he said it. And you guys were quiet on that matter. I think we can do more. 6 lives, that is way too much. 1 life is too precious to be lost in all of this. The politicians have done and they are doing, we don't know if they will continue what they do and their supporters. But then culpability must be returned to where it is. It's a shame on any politicians that have reined in their supporters to go violent from every part of the divide, and which they have given a go at themselves, and 6 persons have died. How about the ambition? Is it worth it? Now that's the question. Is it worth the lives of people, that have died on this matter? Everybody should cover their eyes in shame with what has happened in all the divides, not just 2 divides, all the divides, every critical stakeholders that couldn't do the right thing on this matter, that have ended up, taking the lives of 6 persons. Either they are politicians, we don't care, but maybe something better could have been done. These situations could have been handled better, and so we don't have, now in some families are grieving with money, but then we'll look into that in the course of the program today. But first, we'll look at the headlines. But I must say, and this is not the Ocean State that we want. We'll be back. All right, looking at the pages of newspaper, we'll be starting from the Punch this morning, the Punch newspaper. One from one trouble to the other. In Lagos State, chaos, crisis in Lagos. Boldly written there, you can see it. Chaos, crisis in Lagos. And with riders, DSAs, lawmakers, bicker over daylight assembly invasion. And Miranda refuses to resign. Obasa plots return. And GAC to meet Tinubu. Sanwo-Olu security changed. GAC to meet Tinubu. Sanwo-Olu security changed. We even heard there is another commissioner of police in Lagos State right now. Either it's connected with that issue or not. Many persons wouldn't know, but then people can do some mathematics to say, this happened, this happened, this has happened. And that is what we are seeing at the moment. We saw videos of fisticuffs that happened at the State House of Assembly in Lagos State yesterday, where some DSS, officials purportedly wanted to enter the assembly and they were prevented. It was chaotic, really, yesterday, because many persons will say, what are you looking for? What are you coming in with guns, with everything for in your gears, looking for what at the State House of Assembly? Is this a way to go about it? Because there were reports that maybe the current, the sitting speaker, Mojisola Miranda, have been asked to resign, and possibly she wouldn't resign. And the House of Assembly members were solidly behind her. We saw videos of the House of Assembly members, a chunk of them, majority of them, passing a vote of confidence on the speaker to say, Madam Mojisola, we are with you. And the woman who was seen, tearing up, crying, possibly overwhelmed by the support, or possibly overwhelmed by the challenge, in that chamber yesterday. One wouldn't be able to say why she was, even while she was seated at that seat, the hallowed seat of the speaker yesterday, you could see tears running down her face. But then, just like I said, is it because she's overwhelmed because of the mammoth support she got, while that thing was happening yesterday, or she was just emotional about the pressure that comes with that particular seat? At the end of the day, many things happened. Chaos, crisis in Lagos, and it's about the removal of the former speaker, Mudassir Obasa, and the swearing of this particular speaker here. Now, below that, AU endorses Nigeria as AFCFTA Digital Trade Champion. You can see the picture of the man for the job, or on the job rather, Mr. President and his wife, Oluremi Tinubu, on the move, in that particular picture. Away from that, AGF bars police from parading suspect. AGF bars police from parading suspect. Some will say maybe this is a welcome idea. Some will say, okay, why? But then for many persons who are watchers of what happens in the public space, they will say you can't possibly, arraign and or parade rather suspect in the faces of camera and all of these things, the face of the world, and you still say you are commencing investigation. What happens to if that thing appears not to be true? You can't retrieve what we have seen, but then maybe you need a copy of this paper to see the detail. What the AGF, have barred the police from parading suspect. Now, the manner in which they are paraded sometimes, even if they are suspect, because only the court of law can pronounce somebody a criminal on the matter. You see some of them almost stripped naked and no shoes, no belt, no trouser, and all of those things, just because you want to parade them because they have been caught, in action, possibly in a very terrible manner. But then, that is what we are seeing at this time. Controversial singer Portable declared wanted for assaulting Ogun officials. See the picture of the Zazu crooner there. Abib Okunla Olalomi, aka Portable Male, wanted. That is the picture of the young man there who has refused to leave controversy, who is always found in the eye of everything controversy. But anyway, that is it. He has been declared wanted by the Nigerian police for his role in that chaos, really, that happened in Ogun State a few weeks ago. And he ran away. Some of his goons were arrested, but he has been invited severally to come, and, put his hands in their hair and come to the police station. But they have refused to do that. And he has been having videos uploaded from his hiding. But now he has been officially declared wanted. Sad. Now, Sky Bank Chair Ayeni rejects ex-mistress daughter. Sky Bank Chair Ayeni rejects ex-mistress daughter. Interesting. And Oshunme Council Chair, 6 others shot dead as Adeleke Oyetola supporters war. I said that earlier. Punch is reporting 7 persons shot dead, including a former council chair. Federal government plans 2.3 trillion naira electricity subsidy in 2025. Whatever subsidy you get, Mr. Delabu, we hope is result in having, a very stable power supply. Still on the Punch, states reject 3 trillion naira tax after reform bill's passage. States project 3 trillion naira tax after reform bill's passage. All right, that will be all from the Punch newspaper. And away from that, we look at the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune for today. Chaos in Lagos Assembly. Chaos in Lagos Assembly. And quite, you can see the riders written in red, duly so. And just below that, I will come back to the Lagos story. You see bloodshed in Osun. This is not, when you look at the front page of the newspaper, I'm not sure this is what anybody wants to see. Chaos at the upper part of the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Bloodshed at the lower part of the same paper. These are states in the southwest of Nigeria. Back to the chaos in Lagos Assembly story with a lot of riders. DSS invasion of assembly premises. Entering of chambers spark outrage. Lawmakers, assembly workers, indigents storm assembly, scuffle with security personnel. Leaked memo shows DSS was invited over need for enhanced security measures, because many persons were saying that maybe they were invited as well. But we learned from, there is another report that says the speaker, Ms. Mojisola Miranda, said she didn't invite them. Okay. Away from that, Miranda gains support, sheds tears amid confidence vote by 36 lawmakers. All right. And below that, you have Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi leading candlelight procession with others in honor of the late Adebanjo in Lagos on Monday. Right, that is part of the programs celebrating the legacy of the late elder statesman Ayo Adebanjo. And it's good to see, leaders being involved in that. We hope they will emulate, the true patriotism and sportsmanship and, how to be a true patriot that Adebanjo represented while he was here. Now, power outreach. UCH resident doctors threaten indefinite strike. Now, on this power outage situation at the University College Hospital in Ibadan, popularly called the UCH, well, then there was a meeting that was held by the minister and the power distributor, the IBDC, and some stakeholders, and many persons were happy. In fact, there are pictures in which many persons shook hands. Now, the question is this: has that power not been restored? What has happened? Because now we are hearing that the UCH resident doctors are threatening indefinite strike over power outage. It's, we can't just say this now. Moving on, AU endorses Nigeria as digital trade champion. Away from that, UBA Group champions peace in Africa with landmark $500,000 donation to AU Peace Fund. And bandits kill 19 in Benue renewed attacks. Here we go. Bandits kill 19 in Benue renewed attacks, and court restrains CBN others from withholding Kano local government allocation. Court restrains CBN others from withholding Kano local government allocation. Now to Osun State, bloodshed in Osun. 6 feared killed as PDP APC supporters clash over control of local government secretariats. And commissioned in 2023 but non-functional, pathetic story of 100-bed mother-child hospital in Ibadan. UCH speaks. The infrastructure is there. It's not been activated. Now, Senate leader leads Ekiti Central Senatorial District to endorse Oyebanji for second term. All right, everything is being prepared, and the gladiators are gathering, aligning and realigning already because of the election in Ekiti State. All right. Away from the Nigerian Tribune, let's look at the front page of The Guardian for today. The Guardian newspaper. And the Lagos Assembly crisis worsens, reveals deeper cracks in state's power dynamics. Page 6 asks that. You can see the picture of the former Speaker Mudassir Obasa, chilling at the back of the current Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mojisola Miranda. But the seat in which the Madam Speaker is sitting is just having, has 4 legs, but then she's managing with 1 leg while the chair is being tilted, and she's hanging on, very tightly to that chair, but the chair is being tilted by an unseen hand, a very strong unseen hand, and you can see the maze, in front of her heading somewhere else. I think that best describes what is happening in Lagos State. And Labour Party denies zoning 2027 presidential ticket. Refutes Igbo presidency claims. Labour Party denies zoning 2027 presidential ticket. Refutes Igbo presidency claims. And away from that, Nigerians show approval of Tinubu's performance via defection to APC. That is from an individual. You might want to see the detail of that story. And MAN decries rising cost of alternative energy, over-regulation, policy inconsistencies. Again, MAN decries rising cost of alternative energy, over-regulation, policy inconsistencies. All right. And Labour lawmakers Obi react as NAFDAC sells 3,000 Lagos shops. Again, labor lawmakers. Obi react as NAFDAC sells 3,000 Lagos shops. And that has been generating ripples as well, because the NAFDAC has said many shop owners in that place, more like a cartel, they are fake drug peddlers actually, and or expired drugs peddlers, in which they repackage drugs that have expired, they repackage it and then sell it again, and we know that is dangerous. That might be fatal, and cause health challenges, and the NAFDAC has sealed it up. But Mr. Obi and some of his supporters have been seen to say, yes, fake drugs and expired drugs, trading them is bad and sad and remains condemned, but you can't blatantly, or blankly close every shop in that particular area just because some persons are involved. And, it's been back and forth. And so not just him or Mr. P2B, but labor lawmakers as well. Now, you can see the picture, the center, President Bola Tinubu and his wife, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, accompanied by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, at Addis Ababa International Airport after attending a 38th African Union Summit. All right. And away from that, over 20,000 communities without electricity nationwide, says REA. That is in 2025. Away from The Guardian, let's look quickly at what the Daily Trust has for us today. The Daily Trust front page. Saudi firm threatens to sue Hajj Commission over contract breach. Saudi firm threatens to sue Hajj Commission over contract breach. All right, and manufacturing sector on its last breath. MAN, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Manufacturing sector on his last breath. Man, and below that, gunmen kill 19 in Benue. Gunmen killed 19 in Benue. And firm releases Africa's first feature film on AI. Firm releases Africa's first feature film on AI. And below that, you have a picture of what happened at the State House of Assembly in Lagos yesterday. You can see the Madam Speaker there and many interested parties as well at the State House of Assembly. One of the inserts had where, has rather, this morning on the front page of this paper, that's the Daily Trust, where members of the Lagos State House of Assembly stood up and affirmed their support for Madam Speaker. Right below that, Osun local government crisis, ex-council chair, others killed. Osun local government crisis, ex-council chair, others killed. With riders, Adeleke shot secretariats, we will fish out perpetrators, IGP. Adeleke shot secretariats, we will fish out perpetrators, IGP. All right. And Amotekun sends back 114 northerners from Ondo. Amotekun sends back 114 northerners from Ondo. And when we want to wonder why. Despite court ban, VIO returns to Abuja roads. Despite court ban, VIO returns to Abuja roads. And lastly, from the front page of the Daily Trust, Lagos Assembly adjourns indefinitely as move to remove Speaker heightens. Lagos Assembly adjourns indefinitely as move to remove Speaker heightens. All right, and away from the Daily Trust, let's look quickly at the Vanguard for today, the Vanguard newspaper. Osun, a local government crisis, 8 killed, scores injured as PDP-APC clash. Osun LG crisis, 8 killed, scores injured as PDP-APC clash. And you have the riders here. PDP thugs invaded council secretariat, Osun APC. Adeleke orders security agents to take over local government secretariats. Matter under investigation, please. NAS caucus tasked Tinubu NSA on order in Oshun, and sacked local government bosses, councillors can't return to office, PDP, and asked IGP to hold APC liable for any breach of peace. And away from that, Kanu raises alarm, alleges federal government streaks to perpetually detain him. Kanu raises alarm, alleges federal government streaks to perpetually detain him. And apart from that, you have Cardozo Edun at conference for emerging market economies. All right, away from that, we have on the sporting scene, FIFA 2026 World Cup qualifiers, FIFA 26 World Cup qualifiers. Eagles must beat Rwanda to remain in contention. That's very true. In fact, many sport analysts have said Eagles should just win all of his games, actually, and then they stand a very good chance. So the next game is against Rwanda. Is a win or, lose situation. So they just must only win to remain in contention because the Eagles are not well placed in that qualifiers, the group in which they are. That is coming from Semi Toje, former Eagles player. As a Semi Toje, FIFA 2026 World Cup, Eagles must beat Rwanda to remain in contention. Semi Toje. And from the always comic and humorous corner of Mr. and Mrs. This is coming from Mr. saying the doctor advised that I do away with fatty foods. The doctor advised that I do away with fatty foods. And Mrs. replies, are you sure this same doctor won't advise you to do away with your fat wife as well? Are you sure this same doctor won't advise you to do away with your fat wife as well? And if you like the way I am, eat and become fat too. If you like the way I am, eat and become fat too. Interesting take there. You always have a good laugh. Top strip. I won't stop praising OT. Wabara tells PDP. I won't stop praising OT. That's Alex OT. Wabara tells PDP. All right. And Lagos Assembly crisis, why our men were in the premises. Why our men were in the premises. That's coming from the DSS. Right. And 19 killed in fresh herdsmen attacks in Benue communities. 19 killed in fresh herdsmen's attack. Benue communities. That's not what we want to see. 19 killed in fresh herdsmen's attacks. Benue communities. In Benue communities, definitely. And lastly, for today, economic diversification. Edun list insecurity. Poor infrastructure as key challenges. Again, Edun list insecurity. Talking about economic diversification. Edun list insecurity. Poor infrastructure as key challenges. All right, and that will be it on the front pages of different newspapers for today, where we'll be able to look at what has happened. But now we take a quick break. When we return, we'll be speaking to matters that matter. This is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. You can, apart from joining us on our channel 190 on StarTimes DTT, you can join us on our Facebook, Instagram, and X pages, but very importantly, on our YouTube channel right now. I mean, like now. So possibly you're leaving your home, or you're on your way, or you're on a trip, or you're busy. You can as well be a part of us by logging on to our YouTube page at Western Spring TV. Share, like, subscribe, and let's have the comment. You can drop a comment as well, and let's, discuss what really truly matters. Stay with us.